Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of Dale Center NASCAR betting here on YouTube. You can probably already tell by my voice. I've been pretty sick this week, and I kind of wanted to have a Dale Center episode out midweek-ish, but I've been bedridden the last couple days. But I wanted to make sure you guys had something. We're off for Cup. We still got work to do. You guys know we love betting on O'Reilly and trucks. It's not a truck night in America exactly, but it's a Friday afternoon, Friday evening-ish race, so it's truck afternoon in America. I hate these weird Friday start times, but track behind me, the Rock, does not have light, so whatever. Maybe I'd rather have a doubleheader on Saturday. Maybe make trucks on Sunday. That'd be cool, considering the Cup Series is off, but it's also Easter, so I get it. And then we have the O'Reilly Series on Saturday with the Incel, the North Carolina Education Lottery 250. The abbreviation is Incel. That's great. That's your top split eye racers. Now, of course, with all due respect, we're here to talk about both of these series this weekend in an abbreviated episode here of Dale Center NASCAR betting, which reminds me, I forgot to put the damn logo there. Bang, there it is. Looks good, as always. Still a little bit under the weather, but I finally was able to go place some bets. I've been eyeing the board all week, and if you guys have been monitoring the board for O'Reilly or trucks, you know it's been brutal, especially O'Reilly. I have never seen such a numbers crunch on every single market on O'Reilly. This is the worst I've ever seen. It's pretty pathetic. There are some outrights that I like, though. Tough to even consider any top fives or top threes for O'Reilly because of that particular crunch. The hold is unbelievable, so it's complete nonsense when you look at the board, and I bet somebody out there's done the math on probabilities, and it's probably off the charts criminal, for lack of a better term or phrase. But you see the lines on the bottom of your screen. They are courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook because I think overall they've got the best outright odds. FanDuel has not loaded truck odds. Remember, we're in this crappy situation again with trucks where there's a very narrow gap between the end of qualifying and green flag for the truck race. So, limited possibilities to get additional bets in once practice begins. Lines come off the board. They won't come back on the board. My prediction, you might get a Kambi book like Bally that will load up odds 30 to 40 minutes before green flag. DraftKings has been just utterly pathetic, man. It's like 3 weeks in a row, whether it's been O'Reilly or trucks in this particular situation where we've had like a same day practice and qualifying session for the race. They've loaded up lines with like 8 minutes before green flag. Top fives, top threes, head-to-head matchups. 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. I don't understand what the holdup is to make any type of educated guess on where everybody should be priced based on practice speeds, qualifying, etc. But they're unable to do it. So Bally, your Kambi books typically are on top in terms of getting lines but back up on the board before anybody else. So check out Bet Rivers, check out Bally. Keep refreshing once practice and qualifying is over. On the contrary, the flip side here, O'Reilly is nice because O'Reilly, you get practice and qualifying on Friday and a green flag on Saturday afternoon. So O'Reilly, you don't have to worry about it. There will be options that reload on most of the primary books that I use and you probably use as well. So let's begin. Again, I got these randomized. No top 10 here at the end. I got six drivers that we're going to talk about here on Dale Center NASCAR betting. So we can get one to show up. Let's see. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Try this one. Still nothing. There's one. All right, we'll start with Sheldon Creed. Outright, 14-1. Now, again, if you were monitoring the books throughout the week, BetMGM loaded up Sheldon Creed at 30-1 outright, and I really wish I could have bet it. I got there late. I got 18-1. To me, that's still fine. I still feel like this is an underprice. I feel like this is off for Sheldon Creed. It's a different Sheldon Creed in 2026. They ran okay here last year in this race at Rockingham. I think he was running P6 or P7. He got wrecked. That was kind of the story of his year last year. It is a different Sheldon Creed. This team is a front-running team overall. They've got speed just about everywhere. And I think Sheldon Creed at this price, you could say the same thing about his teammate, Sam Mayer. Now, these guys are front runners for the championship in my mind. I know Sam Mayer still has not had that great start to the season. Sheldon Creed has. I think this just feels like a Sheldon Creed racetrack. He's got a great draw in qualifying. I think if he qualifies in the top 5, in the top 6, he's going to run in that area all day long. Don't make any mistakes. He'll be there at the end. So I think Sheldon Creed, 14-1 is what I see on DraftKings Sportsbook. I think it's worth a shot. In a week where it's nothing but chalk everywhere across the board, this is one guy third in points in the championship. There's no Cup guys in this race for O'Reilly, which is pretty shocking, right? Hocevar's on the truck race and Corey Himes on the truck race. Truck race is a little bit more stacked with different names, but you don't have anybody jumping down and running the O'Reilly race. So I think that's a benefit for Sheldon Creed, no Cup guys, and a guy that's been in contention throughout most of the season. I'll take a shot at it. Again, the positionals, there's such a big numbers crunch on the positional props for top 3s, top 5s. Not worth it to me. We'll see what happens after practice, after qualifying. But Sheldon Creed, I like out the gate, 14-1 if you can get it. Next up, Brent Crews. Excuse me. 9-1 outright. You're not going to find a bunch of statistical backing for this. Happy birthday, Brent Crews. He just turned 18, which means he is now available on DraftKings Sportsbook. Ta-da! That's what it takes. You got to be 18, and then we can bet on you on DraftKings Sportsbook. I just think that we saw it at Martinsville, which was a shit show, unfortunately, but I think this team with this driver is going to be a long-run menace in 2026. That's why Eric Almirola was so good. No, it's a different driver, completely different age bracket, but this team was exceptional on the long run. We've seen that with the top Gibbs car, it seems like every year. Their long-run speed is fantastic. Rockingham's not like this old man racetrack anymore with this repave. It's very fast, very smooth compared to what it was. So normally, if this was Rockingham pre-repave, I would call it an old man racetrack. I love the veterans, but that's all out the window. This is a race I really want to go to before the track kind of wears out. I still want to go here even if the track wears out, just because on TV, I mean, they look like they're flying around this place. And how does that benefit Brent Crews? I'm not sure. I'm just saying I'm not concerned about his age here at a track like this with this particular repave. I think young guns don't have a problem. I think some people just have this, they want to compare and they just want to say the young guys aren't going to be as good at Rockingham as some of the older guys. Well, the O'Reilly series, you got Justin Allgaier, and then you got a bunch of young guys. Brent Crews, I think if we get long green flag runs, he will be quicker as the runs progress, and he'll be a race-winning contender on Saturday and throughout many other races this year. You want to sum this whole thing up, I'm a big believer in the talent of Brent Crews. I think if Martinsville, if we had a shot to see a really long green flag run, we could have seen Brent Crews battle Justin Allgaier for the win. Didn't happen. It is what it is. I don't expect the shit show we had at Martinsville last week or in this race at Rockingham in 2025 on Saturday. I think it's going to be long green flag runs. I think it's going to be more tame, and I think the top long run cars will be there at the end. So that's how I feel about Brent Crews and this 19 JGR Toyota Supra team. So I'm betting on him on Saturday. Moving on, Jesse Love. Let's just make this one real easy. Jesse Love had a fucking rocket ship last year that was, in fact, illegal. He failed post-race inspection, even though he won the race. I took this on FanDuel already, plus 450 to win the race. He's got a good draw in qualifying. I'm not going to miss out. I'm not going to miss out on Jesse Love if he comes out here, puts it on the pole, and wins this race. Ain't gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and bet it now. And I already did. Like I said, this is a 2-unit bet. Don't miss out if they've got a rocket on that 2 team this week. I don't expect a ton to be different. Now, the track could have worn a little bit. This seems like a track that will wear pretty quickly, and it'll put some age on pretty quick as years go by. But I expect the 2 car to be the best again. So let's make it simple. They had the best car here last year by a long shot. Maybe some redemption on the mind because they failed inspection after they won the race. I think they go back to back, and this time they don't fail inspection. But if you bet on FanDuel, it doesn't matter, because if you bet on FanDuel, they grade pre-inspection. So checker flag waves, that's your winner. That's what pays out on FanDuel Sportsbook. So keep that in mind. Plus 450, I think pre-qualifying, completely worth it, because he's the best candidate to put it on the pole, lead every lap, dominate, and go to victory lane. So we're all in on Jesse Love for Saturday. Next up, I'm back on the Kaden Honeycutt train. This is a guy on a team. You go back and look at these first couple of races outside of the drafting tracks, this 11 truck has been a rocket, complete rocket. He passed so many cars at St. Petersburg, wrecked, repassed everybody, and he should have won Darlington. So again, let's just simplify. You know, he was in a niche truck here at Rockingham last year, had pretty good speed, was pretty in the conversation, I would say, early on before that race. Was kind of a shit show early, but it turned into a fuel mileage deal. I definitely don't expect that this time around. Let's just simplify. He's got the best crew chief in the truck series as his crew chief. They've brought rocket ships to the racetrack and 2 consecutive non-drafting tracks in 2026. Don't be shocked. Kind of like Jesse Love. This is the guy that could put it on the pole, lead, dominate, lead every lap, and get his first career win on Friday evening. So what I have there, plus 550. I actually used an odd boost on BetMGM. I bought him up to, I think, plus 660, something like that. There's another one I missed out on. He opened up around 10-1, I think, and then 7-1 was available up until I decided to go to the casinos and place my bet. So I still think plus 550 is worth it. I think this is on DraftKings Sportsbook, because if he puts it on the pole, has the fastest truck in practice, you could see him in that 3-1 territory that we see Lane Riggs, Corey Heim, and Carson Kvapil. So love Kaden Honeycutt. You can get a top 5 at minus 110 to minus 130. That's your max bet of the weekend. Kaden Honeycutt's going to be a factor to win this race. I think he is as close to a lock as possible for a top 5 at a fantastic price, basically near even money. So love Kaden Honeycutt this weekend. We're going to ride with what is likely the best truck in the field in the Craftsman Truck Series. Next up, I'm right back to Carson Kvapil. I changed a little bit, but that text underneath his name is like the same as last week. Plus, they were really good here in 2025. They just have to 2 things. They got to one, stay out of trouble, and 2, not fuck a race up on pit road. The pit stops have been concerning. They've hurt this team. They killed a top 3 run at Darlington. They've put him just back in the pack multiple times throughout 2026. And I think, as I kind of said earlier with Brent Crews, this team on the long run, really good at Phoenix, and they were good at Martinsville, especially late in that race. Never know what could have happened if it didn't turn into a fucking shit show. So I'm all in on Carson Kvapil again. I think the positional's still a little expensive all across the board, so I'm going to wait on the top 3s and the top 5s, but I like the outright. I'd be shocked if it gets above 10-1. So I'm all in on Carson Kvapil again. I know you're probably tired of hearing that. Carson Kvapil, going to be a contender, going to be a factor. And remember, I talked about the trucks with Scott Zipadelli on the box for Kaden Honeycutt and the 11 team. I think you can make an argument the best crew chief in the O'Reilly series is on the top of the box for Carson Kvapil, and that is Rodney Childers. Don't feel bad for me, I promise I'll be fine. I think that's everybody. No, we got one more. Christian Eckes and this number 91 truck. Love the price here. 16-1 to win the truck race on Friday afternoon. Great draw in qualifying. It just kind of seems like the books have forgotten how good Christian Eckes was in a truck when he was full time. Now, we've had a few gremlins, a few issues. He wrecked at St. Pete, but they had fantastic top 3 speed at Darlington. I'm going to bank on that happening again at Rockingham now that Eckes has gotten more comfortable back in a truck. Kind of a big transition to go full time with an O'Reilly team and colleague all of last year, and then come back full time for a dominant team in the past, and McAnally Hilgeman Racing in trucks. So this is the particular track type. He's kind of short track. These short track types is where Christian Eckes was really good with McAnally back in 2024 when he won a bunch of races. So I think they're going to carry that good long run speed they had from Darlington into this weekend. I think this is right in his wheelhouse. I think Christian Eckes is going to be a factor. And at this price, all the chalk, again, at 16-1 outright is still available on DraftKings Sportsbook. At 6-1 top 3 is still available on Hard Rock. I even debated betting his top 5 at Hard Rock at plus 240. So the thing that makes me a little nervous with Eckes is his pit crew. And maybe some gremlins, like they had a gremlin in Atlanta where they blew up on like lap 1 or had no brakes or some shit like that. So I don't want to go all in on Eckes, but he's worth a shot. If he qualifies up in the top 7, top 8, you're not going to see 16-1. That 6-1 top 3 will be gone. If Eckes starts with track position, I think he keeps it, and I think you're not going to get a better price on these lines that I just showed you for the green flag. So that is everything I got. Oh boy, this is a short one, huh? Again, no top 10 plays, whatever. Whew. You know, there is like a COVID variant going around, and this feels kind of like COVID. I do not cough very often. And I've had like a little cough, scratchy ass throat, and a fucking killer headache. And that is kind of what I remember having when I first caught COVID. So anyway, do not feel bad for me. I promise I'm fine. I know my voice sounds like a fucking miniature RFK right now, but I'm actually feeling pretty good. Like I said, I was kind of bedridden the last couple of days. Feel pretty good now, but now that I've been talking my ass off, this is why I haven't been live streaming. I knew my voice would start. My voice is already halfway gone. Lifehouse. And I figured if I did this or live stream or both, I'd start irritating it. But you know what? It's worth it. You know, I really appreciate everybody that has tuned in on this YouTube channel and helped it grow so much just in the first quarter of the 2026 NASCAR season. I know we've had some bumps in the road if you tail all the betting cards. We haven't been able to build consistent winners, but we're still in the green. We had a big win on Sunday. Chase Elliott, the dominant guy, clearly in the dominant car all day long, got the win. And I told you he would here on DALESCENTER. Predicted it straight up. I said Chase Elliott's your winner on Sunday. He won, got us back, just got us back on the board with a win. And honestly, it's kind of crazy. Cup has been all right, kind of up and down. O'Reilly's been fantastic, other than the bloodbath at Martinsville that was created by one missed shift. And then trucks, you know, just like last year, this is exactly how trucks started out for me last year. It was a pain in the ass. I think trucks, I started out 18 to 20 units in the red in 2025. Ended up in the green, not by much, but we did end up in the green. And I still feel like I know what I'm looking at. You know, the complexion of the truck series has changed quite a bit. With Corey Heim not full time anymore, he's still lingering and pissing me off a little bit. But I think that there's still plenty of opportunity to find some slam dunk bets, and I'm hoping we've done that already for this weekend. I guess I'll round off. I did bet on Ty Majeski, didn't feel good about it, but it kind of feels like a Ty Majeski weekend, so I took his outright 16-1 at BetMGM. I'd probably bet him down to 14-1. He doesn't have a great draw in qualifying, but I'd be surprised if he got longer than 16-1, regardless of what happens in practice and qualifying. So I like Ty Majeski, but let's just be real. Have you ever felt good when you bet on Ty Majeski ever at any point? You know, like, I feel like most drivers at some point when I'm at a kiosk or betting on my phone, like, I look and I click it, I'm like, all right, kind of nod the head, like, feel good about this. Bam, put that in. I think Ty Majeski, every single time in my life I've bet on this guy, it's like the exact opposite. Like, I've gotten slightly more depressed. You want to get a little more depressed, put money on Ty Majeski. I hope I'm wrong, because you know, a win is a win, and if he won, we would win. I didn't put him on the board for Dale Center because he's not worth it, but I did bet on Ty Majeski because I like the price. It's 16-1. Took some top 5 long shots. Landon Lewis in the Nice Motorsports truck ran really well at St. Pete. It was like top 5 the whole day. Ended up P6. Landon Lewis, young gun, potentially a superstar in the making from what I've heard about this kid. So Landon Lewis in a niche truck I took for a top 5 at 14-1 on Caesar Sportsbook. You can check if that's still there. I think I remember seeing a Hard Rock have 12-1. That's worth a shot too. And then I took some top 5s for O'Reilly, Jeb Burton 22-1, Anthony Alfredo 25-1, and Dean Thompson 25-1. One of those on Hard Rock, 2 of them on DraftKings, I believe. So that's basically everything I have if you wanted to hear. And I will double check. Oh, not that you can bet this now, but BetMGM had Justin Haley like severely mispriced. 350-1 outright. Is he gonna win? No, but what if he does? We saw a fuel mileage winner last year with Jake Tucker from Family Guy, aka Tyler Ankrum. So you never know what could happen. It's a clear misprice. I took Justin Haley 350-1 outright and 50-1 top 3. So BetMGM had a pretty big misprice there. We sprinkled it, moved it, whatever. So that's another thing we have. If you did tail via Dub Club, via the Dale Club, that link in the bio. If you want to tail all the bets with specific unit allocations, we're almost up to 1,000 subscribers on that, by the way, which is unreal. So the public testimony is there. The results have been there, except for the past couple weeks until Sunday. So subscribe over to dubclub.win. I think right now we're like 13.5 units in the green. So we have tumbled with a really, really tough couple week stretch. No question about it. But confident we'll get out of it. We usually do. And we kind of sort of got out of it on Sunday at Martinsville. So better days ahead for sure. If you want to tail the bets in specific unit allocations, click the link to dubclub.win. And then join the Discord, of course. The Dale Center NASCAR Discord is bumping. It's almost 1,600 members, a ton of engagement, a ton of fun, and just a fantastic community that helps each other out, has some fun, talks some shit about everything. So join that as well. And we'll be back for a full Dale Center next week, Bristol. I think we have a triple header, Cup, O'Reilly, and Trucks. So that's going to be fun. Head back to Bristol for that. And yeah, let me know who you think is going to win each race in the comments. Let me know what bets you like in the comments. Let me know what you hate that I talked about. Let me know what you love that I talked about in this episode. Love the interaction in the comments. And if I help you win some money, please like, share, and subscribe. That's all I got. Again, Dale FK, RFK. I feel like that's where my voice is trending here. So, but we'll be better soon, and I'll be watching the races this weekend. So, thank you guys for tuning in to Dale Center NASCAR betting here on YouTube. I will see you guys soon, and my voice will be a lot better than it is right now. So, thanks again, and catch you soon.